Hi, everybody. Good evening, and thank you for coming to this session uh, with Strate School of Design. We have a very eminent set of panelists here. Uh, Primarily the director and dean of Strate School, Bangalore. All right. So, as you know, Strat is a French school based in France, and they have opened their center here in India. And it's been open now. The third batch is, I think, around the third batch is running, but those details I'll let Thomas get into. All right. I request you to hold on for a few more minutes for two reasons. Number one is there are a few more people joining in as we speak, and I don't want them to miss out. And the second thing is that we are having some technical difficulty getting Thomas online. So I need a few more minutes before we can start off. All right, right. But till then, I just would like to know how many of y'all from here, which city are y'all from? Now, just to test the system out, I would like y'all to see a small questions tab. All right, those small little questions tab. Could you please click on that questions tab and tell me which city you are from? Yeah, so this helps me know two things. That number one, I know you found the questions tab, okay? And the second thing is that I know that uh, I know which city you're from. Okay, so I've got a few responses, right? Oh wow, we have people from different cities. Okay, all right. I will just mute myself and try and see. Oh yeah, so Thomas is here, and let me add him. Just 1 second. Thomas, hi Thomas, how are you?
Fine, and you?
All right, all good at this at DQ Labs, and good to have you here. Um, we've got everyone waiting here and looking forward to the session with
I'm
Strat.
sorry, there was some technical difficulty actually.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We have right. So just to start off and introduce Thomas, uh, Thomas has been um, the one to start off with Strat School of Design, Bangalore. Like I mentioned, Strat School of Design is a French school, and I'll leave Thomas to give a little more details about that. Maybe Thomas, you could introduce yourself, give a little background to yourself as well.
Yes, absolutely, I will do that.
Yeah, and before that, I would just like to introduce a couple of people from my team. I've got Sijo Purushottamam as well as Venkatesh from my team from Trishur. They handle DQ Labs Trishur. Okay, and they are here as well. They may not be speaking, but they are very much here as part of this team representing DQ Labs. All right. So, Thomas, please
Perfect.
go ahead and introduce yourself and let's start off from there.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. So my name is Thomas Dahl, as Dion just mentioned. I'm very happy to be here and to be able to share some discussions, some thought with you today. So I'm a designer by training and profession. I've been trained last century. Actually, I passed from ISD in France in 1999, and I've been working for more than 10 years in in the car industry. So I was a car designer. From car designer, I went to manager of the European studios of a car designer, a car manufacturer. After that, I shifted to India in Pune in 2008, and I studied a school in India that you might all know. It's called DSK. So it shut down now, shut down 2 years ago, which was one of the best school of design in India from 2008 to 2017. After that, I went, actually, I started 3 years there. In 2011, I went back to head the design and innovation for Decathlon. I don't know if you know Decathlon, it's a sport brand. There are some few shops here in Bangalore and over in India. So I was the head of design and innovation for them during 6 years, and I quit them to start Strate School of Design in India in 2018. So in 2018, we started the school. So yeah, that's it for me. So I'm a car geek. I'm a petrol head. I've got my own collection. So for all the geeks that want to see nice cars and bikes, I'm here and I can discuss with this. It's my passion. I like to restore all stuff. So I want to modify them a little bit. For example, during the lockdown, I'm using my time to transform an old 1961 Vespa into something that is meaner and faster than a KTM 390. So this is how I'm spending my time.
All right, yes. Thomas, that's pretty cool. And for all of you, and since you brought up the DSK story, I'd just like to tell everyone present here that Thomas was one of the core team members of DSK. And in my opinion, and I keep telling everybody this openly, that I think DSK was one of the top design schools in India. Hands down, I have still not seen another school that compares with that as of now. And Thomas was part of that core team. And unfortunately, they had to shut shop because of the promoter's other real estate business. But that was an unfortunate thing. But we are glad that Thomas is back in India and back with Strate.
All right. Yeah, so actually more than one of the core member, I was the founder with the three other guys of DSK, and we started. We call ourselves, there were three guys at the beginning of DSK, and we call ourselves the pioneers, the old pioneers of DSK. So yes, so I told you that because just to tell you that it's not my first school in India, and I had a big success before that. So I know what I'm doing when I'm starting a school, because I've done this well. As Dan said, our school was the best in India during a long time. So here we have a Strate. The challenge is not the same because DSK was difficult. But here in Strate, it's easy because we are followed by a big group that is helping us to set up this school. So we are aiming at doing something that is even better and even stronger, bigger, harder, all this. Now we are starting at something that is much better than what we did in DSK, which was really, really good at this time. But here what we are doing is even better, more modern. The way of teaching is different, much more adapted to the new generations. We are using a full-fledged on the technology that are available on this kind of stuff. So yes, it's a bigger project than DSK. That's what we are doing in Strate School of Design now.
All right, awesome, cool. So Thomas, could you let us know a little bit about the background of what all courses you have here at Strate School?
Yeah, I can understand the confusion. Don't worry. So yes, I can tell you that, of course. So what we are doing in Strate, Bangalore, we are giving an education to the young designers that want to do something else than just drawing. We really are aiming at giving design education to the one that want to change something in the world, and that really want to make something big, not just reshaping the new, I don't know, the new battery pack, or reshaping and making a new, better looking battery chargers or better looking things. It's something else that we are trying to do. Is really we are trying to empower the designer with a lot of deep core understanding of the world, and in order to be able to change things. So basically, how is it transferred into our curriculum? Our curriculum is based on four departments right now. So for the one that are going to join us this year, they are going to be able to choose between transportation design, product design, interaction design, and identity design. So let me just explain all of them. So I think product design is something that doesn't need so much explanation, but I'm still going to go into it. So it's everything. It can go from furniture to computers to cameras to phones, battery charger that I just said. But it also can be, apparel. In design, in Decathlon, we were doing, all the clothes that you see. Most of them are done in teams where there is one product designer that is going to do the apparel design and some fashion designer that are going to work with him. So it's a team. But product design can do apparel. I was doing, my team were doing bags and shoes and accessories, ski suits. So apparel is also something that is included inside the product design range. We've got transportation design, which is basically what everybody knows, like car design. But it's much more than that we are doing in Strat. It's not only styling the cars or the vehicles. It's rethinking the full system of a car. Cars today are obsolete. Petrol pollution, small streets, too many traffic, all this kind of stuff. So there's a new way of traveling that is going to be invented in the new world that is coming. It's coming. Already big companies are working on this. And we've got a webinar with a BMW designer, with a Strate School of Design student on Friday about it. What is the next level of cars, what is coming. So this is what we are going to deal about. Of course, we're going to draw nice looking cars and making some nice reflection on it and making the styling of them super cool. But also we are going to think about what is deep core, what is transportation meaning? How do you transport goods? Are you renting? Are you owning cars? Are you all this kind of stuff? So this is really about the system of cars and transportation that we are going to teach. After we got interaction design. That's today, everybody is speaking about connected objects. Everything is connected. Your phone, your apps, your machines, everything is connected. So how do you interact with machines? Of course, you've got the websites, which is UI, UX design and, graphic design or this kind of stuff. But it's more than that. It's not only how it looks, but it's how you use it. How many steps to reach your goal? How to download my files? Do I need to click here, click here, click here? Or is there something else that can be done in order to make it more easy? So it's a deep core understanding of how people can interact with each other, with machines. Are you doing this? How is VR and augmented for virtual reality and augmented reality working? How can you do this? How can you as a designer use all this technology to make people life easier? So this is what we are doing in interaction design. And the last one is identity design. So everybody is speaking about graphic design and graphic and visual communication. So this is, making logos and posters. Identity design is a little bit deeper than that. It's actually much more deeper than that. It's about how to make a brand a brand. Okay, I'm always taking this example of Apple. Where Apple, when I'm telling you just the name of the brand, you've got a lot of vision coming to you, a lot of pictures coming to your mind. It's good looking, it's a little bit posh, it's expensive, it's good quality. All these kind of things are the brand identity. And in identity design, what we are going to teach you in Strat is how to make sure that all the customers are going to be able to identify a brand with all the touch points. So it's going to take over, the retail, the graphics, the posters, the communications, the websites, and all this need to be thought in a way that the brand is going to be always homogeneous. And people will always rely and relate to the brand in one way, one only way, the Apple way, or the Microsoft way, or the Samsung way, or whatever it is. But only one way. This is the storytelling of the brand. This is the image of the brand. This is the design policy of the brand. This is a web policy of the brand. This is a chat policy. This is a social marketing, the social media. It's really big. It's not only making logos and things like that. It's really something that is deep core understanding the brand. And this is what the future needs, because graphic design is dead. It's a job that is dead. So we need to go deeper now and to go to the brand identity and everything that is making the image of a brand more than just the logos on the posters. So these are the 4 departments. I'm repeating them. So product design, transportation design, identity design, and interaction design. These are the 4 departments that we're offering. And most of the, sorry, Darren, tell me, most of the students will say, oh, but I don't know which one to choose, because it's difficult, when you're 17 to choose which one you want to go, because most of the students will not know exactly what it is, identity design, what is product design, what is the difference exactly between product and interaction, so it's difficult to choose. That's why in Strat, we don't ask you to choose, at least not in the first years. We've got the 2 first years for you to identify, we are going to work with you, we are going to expose you to the 4 departments. We are going to give you some project of transportation, some project of identity, some project of interaction, some project of product design. And then you will discover exactly what it is. And then from that, after 2nd year, you will be able to decide by yourself, wisely and quietly what is best for you. And then only at the end of 2nd year, to start your 3rd year in Strat, you will be going deep core into your specialization, which will be one of the 4 departments. So don't worry if you don't know yet what you want to do. It's something that can be dealt very smoothly and very professionally because this is what we do, and we do it since 30 years now, and we're doing pretty well.
All right, that's pretty interesting. Right. Getting into these now, I'm sure that a lot of students would be confused and glad that you'll have the option where they can get into the school, explore for a year, and then choose their area of specialization. In the first year, how would they experience all these 4 branches? What happens in the first year?
Yeah. So the first year, mostly in Strat, what we're going to teach you the first year is the basics of design: how to draw, how to use colors, how to deal with color, how to deal with page composition, all these kind of basics of design, like how to represent things. Also, we are going to, as I said, and as Diane asked me, how we are going to expose you to the 4 departments. Okay, and this is going to be done through projects, and projects are going to be done with experts. It means it's not going to be your common teachers that are going to teach you and to speak to you about identity and things like that. You will have the head of departments from France or from Strat France that are going to come to make a workshop, 1 week, 2 weeks with you about interaction design, how to make a workshop with transportation design. Or you will have some guys coming from Suzuki, from Tata, from BMW coming to the school and make you a full masterclass about what is transportation design. And this is how, as designers, that young designers or young student designers that don't know a lot, you're going to be not only exposed to what transportation design is, but what a transportation designer, a professional one, is. And what is his vision about the world, what is his vision about the industry, how you deal with all this. And this is going to be something that is very, very, very different. It's going to be very, very different. And it's going to be something that is going to empower you a lot, a very lot. And at the end, because you will have this very professional vision of all these departments, then you will be able to decide.
Awesome, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. You all can start asking your questions now, if you like, but we'll get into a little more depth of the conversation. Thomas, you mentioned that there is a lot of industry interaction. That means a lot of these experts are coming. So, could you let us know now how old is Strat in Bangalore?
So Strate in Bangalore, the project itself started in 2017, but we started the courses. So it means that it's been 3 years that we are working with a relationship with the industry, but we started the courses only 2 years ago. So it means that in July, it will be our third batch.
Okay.
First students, so we will have students up to third year next year. So we will have seniors. But the school is 5 years, so we will not yet go through the full 5 years. It's still a young school.
Right. And now that you mentioned the full 5 years, all right, so that is a program where you'll have an integrated master's, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So could you explain what that program is in a little more detail?
Okay. So, as I said, it's a 5-year program. This is what we have been polishing. You know, this syllabus was not 5 years at the beginning in Strat. In Paris, it was different. And it's been 30 years that we are, evolving our syllabus in order to always be at the updates of the industry. It means the only goal of education is to help students to find a job. And what is the best way to help students to find a job, then to be sure that what you're doing is up to date with what the industry is looking for. So every year we are working with the industry in order to update our courses, in order to be sure that what we are teaching is what the industry is expecting, from the graduate students that we have. So this program has been evolved into the 5-year program that we have now. That is, as I said, the 2 years of foundations, where students are design students on no specialization yet. And after, there is 3 years of specialization. So it's what we do is a BSc, so Bachelor of Science in Design, plus Master of Science in Design, which is an Indian degree. So we have to follow the UGC rules for that. And also at the end of 5 years, so it means that after 3 years, students will get a Bachelor of Science in Design. And they will get, after 2 years more, a Master of Science in Design and a French graduation that is equivalent to an MDes, but we don't call it an MDes in France, so it's another name. So but let's call it an equivalent to Master in Design from Strat Paris. So it means that our course, our 5-year course, is a dual graduation, a dual degree program, where students will get Indian degree, like your parents will be happy, you will get an Indian degree, you will be sure that everything is going to be okay in your life. You've got an official Indian degree, your parents will be happy. And from that, you will also get an international degree that is going to come from France, Paris, from Strate School of Design, Paris. So it means that at the end of 5 years in Strat Bangalore, you get a Bachelor of Science in Design, you get a Master of Science in Design, and an equivalent to Master from Paris. So 2 masters for the price of 1. That's super cool, no?
Of course. That's an amazing option. That's a very interesting option, I must say.
Absolutely. It doesn't, yeah. So yeah, so just something, sorry, Darian, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No
but I just forgot to say something. So we said it's an integrated master. It means that the courses are planned to be done in 5 years. But if a student wants to quit after 3 years, it's a possibility that they can take. It's just that, it's like a cookie. I'm always using this. It's like a cookie. When the recipe of a cookie is you need to spend 20 minutes in the oven, nothing is avoiding you to remove the cookie after 10 minutes of the oven. It's not going to be cooked, but you can. It's the same thing for Strat. The recipe to make a super good designer, international designer, in Strat is 5 years. You can redraw after 3rd year, if you want to get your BSc only, and this is enough for you. So the BSc is not going to be from Strat, it's going to be from an Indian university. So you will get your BSc. You will be like the cookie. After 10 minutes, you will be half cooked only. Okay? The total recipe is 5 years. So the program of Strat is meant to be done through the 5 years. It's not like a 3 years plus 2 years. That's why we call it an integrated 5 years, because there are things that are happening during 5 years all along in order to be sure that our students are going to be super high-end designers, international level, international standard designers after 5 years. That's why we call it an integrated 5-year program. But of course, the rules in India are if you want to stop after the BSc, you can. We strongly not advise you to do so because you will be like the cookie, half cooked and not very efficient in the industry, and your salary will not be as high as if you do 2 years more in our school in Paris, or because master can be done either in Paris, Singapore, or Bangalore. So you can do, if you want absolutely to go somewhere else than Bangalore to make your master, you can shift to one of our other campuses, to experience a European lifestyle, and having some terrace, cafe, and all this kind of lifestyle. Or you can go to Singapore to have a master in Singapore. It's something that is also possible. This is why we call ourselves an international school, is because students can move from one campus to another pretty easily.
All right. So the syllabus, the curriculum is going to be the same across campuses?
Yes. Yes and no. Yes, because I would say 85% will be the same. All the content, all the way of teaching, all the way we are interacting with the industry. The industry is involved into the campus on the projects. This is going to be the same. What is different is that the academic minister in France is not the same than the Indian one. That is not the same than the Singapore one. So there will be 15% that is going to be the adaptation according to the local rules of education. UGC rules are not the same than the French Minister of Education, okay? And then here we have to have some different type of assignments. We've got these rules, we've got some forced subject, we've got 5 subjects, English 1, English 2, communicative English, environmental studies, and mind management that are subjects that we have to add to our syllabus because they are compulsory. So this is part of the 15%. But yes, we are doing, students can shift from one campus to another because it's the same content, and same way of teaching.
All right, that's cool. That's pretty interesting. Okay, right. So the next thing I wanted to ask you is, when Strat France is concerned, okay, it is a very, as far as I've found out, that it's a pretty prominent college in France, right?
Yes.
It is one of the top. So could you?
Yeah. So it's if I can just, so it's the third. One of the three. It's always shifting one from one year to another. It's not always the same. So it's one of the 3 best colleges in France. One of the top 10 colleges in Europe, and it's among the 20 best colleges in the world. We are second in Europe for interaction. We are third in the world for transportation. So it's a pretty super high level design school. Yes, in Paris.
All
but
right.
in the same thing, because we are doing the same thing. So we couldn't prove it right now because we are too young. But believe me, my students, we received some students from France this year. So students from year 1 in Paris wanted to do their year 2 in Bangalore. So we welcome them because, as I said, the exchanges are open. So these students spend 1 year with us in Paris, in Bangalore. And they came back, for the lockdown, they came back to Paris because, the courses are still going on. It's not the same academic calendar than India. So courses in Paris are still going on. And when they come back to their second year friends from Paris, they just kick them out. Like they were like, wow, they also were impressed. So it means that what we are doing here in India is pretty good compared to what even is done in Paris. The reason is very easy, actually. We've got a low number of students, so we can take a lot of time mentoring each of them very, very closely, which in Paris, they've got a lot of students. So it's, even if they do spend a lot of time, it's not as much as we can afford to spend here in Bangalore, because we are a small team with a small number of students. So it's really like a la carte teaching, which is very, very interesting actually.
Nice. All right. So that brought me up with 2 points. Number one is the students from France being able to come to India, and the students from India being able to go to France. That exposure of working with students from different countries, that's a pretty interesting set of exposure. How would that help students? Say the Indian
Oh,
student, how would that help?
oh, you all know that India is a pretty huge market. It's a big, big country. There's 1.3 billion people inside. The level of income is increasing every year. Maybe not this year because of the COVID, but most of the year it's going up a little bit every year. So it's a huge market for people. So all the big brands all over the world, they want to come and take a piece of cake of India. They want to enter the market and they want to sell their object in India. Like all these big brands from abroad, BMW, Jaguar, all these cars industry, but of course also the electronic appliance, the cooking appliance, all this, they want to come to India because there is a big market here. But also at the same time, India's culture is completely different, like completely different from what is in Europe and US. So if you don't understand this culture completely, you can't design product for India. So that's why here it's super interesting for me to teach my students this multiple and mixed culture, because they will be able to work in a US company, for example, with US colleagues, but what is going to be looked for is their Indianness, because they will understand a super huge market that people are looking for. And because of this dual culture, they will be able to be the super good assets for international brands to make product for India. And this is super interesting. And there's another thing that is very interesting, and that's why international companies are looking at Indian students. It's because, in India, there is always things happening in India. You need always to be ready for everything. Okay, there is always a problem to solve in your everyday life. Something is not happening in the way you want it. Something is there. So this guy is just crossing where you don't expecting to cross. So you need to find solution for a lot of little things all your day life. This is India. So it made, the brain of Indians super, super creative for solutions. And if this basic skill, this skill that is embedded inside the Indians, if you nurture it and you make it like it's able to be controlled and monitored towards in the good way of design creativity, you make some super high-end profiles, because this natural born creativity of Indians mixed with process and methodology is making something that is just tremendously good. And believe me, when I was in DSK, my student from India are now, so it's been 10 years that we started the school, more than that, 12 years now. Students are now having, my first students are now having super high-end positions in big companies because of this, because they are problem-solving guys, because this is born into them. So I'm very pleased to work with Indian students because it's easy. It's easy in some way. It's not easy in some other, like everywhere. But it's super easy to make them creative. So they're super good. So this is the 2 points that are making them easy, and that's why it's really important for them to be internationally connected, because international companies are looking for this kind of profile. And that's why we are here to train them, because there's a lot of opportunities, and it would be sad not to take them, sorry.
All right, awesome. The other questions I had were regarding the faculty, right? So
Yeah.
you said that we're a small team and we have few students and we're able to mentor these students very well, right?
Yes,
Like an
absolutely.
a la carte. So how
Yes.
Right. So
Your
how?
French accent is
So,
perfect, huh?
yeah, yeah. So could you tell us a little more about your team that works along with you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, a school can't be better than the faculty that is making the school. So in Strats, we know that, a school is nothing else than the faculty that are making the school. You can have a super big name. If you've got not good faculty, you will not make a good school. Okay? And there is a lot of big schools that, when some faculty change, they suddenly drop down a lot. Okay, so it's my major priority in Strat is to find the good teachers. Actually, I should not use the word teacher because my faculty are not teachers. That's surprising, isn't it? They are experts from the industry. It means in Strat we're having a very few teachers, that are teaching from the last 10 years or that are used to teach and teach and teach. We don't, because most of these teachers are often, not always, but often, and very, very often, disconnected from the reality of the industry. Okay, they are still teaching things that they were taught to teach like 5 years or 10 years ago. Here, what we do is that we are taking teachers, faculty actually, that are coming from the industry. It means when they are teaching you graphic design and they are explaining you something about a logo or about a poster, about identity design, about anything, they are not only able to explain you the theory, they are doing it with you. And the way they are explaining it to you, it's because the day before they were doing it for clients. So they know exactly, if they tell you that, oh, the trend is towards red and all the things that they tell you, it's not something that they heard 5 years ago. It's something that they are using every day to make their business run. So it means that they are up-to-date professionals. So this is the first thing that we are looking at when we are hiring teachers. I should not teachers, sorry, faculty. And I would even say mentors because there is 3 points. So the second point is also that these guys, most of them are working already. So it means that they've got a salary. So they are not eager to work as a teacher just for the money or for the sake of it. They are happy to share because they are not doing this for the money because they already have their salaries. So they're happy to share. They just enjoy to be with students and to share their knowledge, their expertise with students. So passion is involved. So it means these super experts faculties are also passionate about the fact of sharing their knowledge. And this is something that is super important when you want to mentor some students. And I'm using the word mentor now because, there is an old-fashioned way of teaching and there is a new way of teaching. And the old-fashioned way of teaching is, standing in front of a blackboard or whiteboard now, on a PowerPoint presentation even now, and to teach. Oh, this is what is happening, plastic injection is done this way, and students write down. This is the old-fashioned way. It is like, if you make the comparison with a football team, it will be the coach, the fat guy that is sitting on a bench and that is telling to all the athletes on the field to run. You should do this way, you should do this way, but it's not doing anything. This is the old way of teaching. The new way of teaching, the one that we are using, it's our teachers are not the coach, the fat coach on the bench. They are the captain of the team. They are running with the team. They are doing projects with the team. They are drawing with the team. So when I'm speaking about the team, of course, I'm speaking about students. So it means my teachers are doing with the students. They are showing, they are demonstrating, they are explaining. They are not just shouting the theory from the bench, like, oh, you should run faster. No, they are showing you how to run faster. And this is what is making a big difference. These 3 points about faculty are really making a big difference in the way of teaching. And I invite you guys, if you've got any question, to question my students about what is Strat. They will be the best ambassador about telling you about all this, how good or bad are my faculty, how good or bad are my teachings. When I'm saying it's not mine. It's mostly my teachers teaching, are my mentors, faculty, you understand the word now. So ask my students, you can find them on Instagram, you can find them on Facebook, you can find them everywhere. I'm sure you are super good guys now on all these social medias, and you can find some of my students here and there. And if you don't, I can send some list of students to Diane for you to connect. You choose any one of them and you call them. They will be the best ambassador to speak to you about the school.
Cool. That sounds nice. But that's a very interesting approach.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's making a real difference, Diane. It is actually.
Yeah. We can, for sure. This is, this is one of the things that we see a lot of schools. They have very traditional forms of teaching, and like you said, the blackboard and someone standing there and teaching, and that's something that we're used to a lot. And so when we have these new methods, then it's pretty interesting. All right.
Yeah, but it's not easy, huh? And when you say you're used to, that's true. I see my first year students, when they come to the school, the first 2 months, it's horrible for them. They don't know what to do, they don't know how to react, not to adapt to this change of methodology of teaching. So it's difficult. It's a difficult shift that they have to find. But after, when they are acquainted to it and they know how to deal with it, they are super happy, like super happy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The adaptation is a little bit difficult, a little bit tricky. It's completely different from what you experience in 11 and 12. So it's sometimes difficult for students to the first 2 months. Yes.
Right.
They're happy.
Okay, cool. And then regarding the industry interactions that you've had so far, have there been, what are the kind of companies that have come and interacted with the students?
Yeah. So we had, so as I was saying before, this Friday we got interaction with some high-end, some leader designer from BMW that are going to teach us. We've got the head of design from Fuso, Japan. We've got guys from Logitech that are taught us some courses. We've got guys from Kingfisher, so not your Kingfisher, the French Kingfisher. So it's a tools maker. They are making not machines, but hand tools. Driller, like a Black & Decker. A competitor to Black & Decker. We had some guys. So these are guys. I don't remember all of them. We've got Decathlon, of course. As a former Decathlon guy, Decathlon is involved a lot in the school. We had some guys coming from, I don't remember them. Oh yes, this one is super interesting. So Google, you might know all this. You might all know this company, Google. We had guys from Sodexo. It might not be known, but Sodexo is the biggest company in the world for catering. For events, for offices, for business and restaurants. So it's Sodexo. So we had a big workshop with them. We had interaction with Pro Studio from San Francisco, which is one of the most innovative design studio from San Francisco. We are having an interview, not an interview, a small, not a small, a nice interaction next week with some guys from Ammunition, also from San Francisco. We had some. Yeah, it's a lot. Some from PwC, sorry, PwC. We've got some guys working from PwC, which is one of the most important consulting business in India. Accenture also, we had some link with Accenture for some stuff. I could go on like that. Yes, it's a lot of things.
All this in 2 years.
Yes, mostly it will be happening this year with the year 2. This, what I told you, it was happening this year in the year 2 actually, because first year, first year students are not so involved into the industry because they are using the basics. So we had some teachers coming from these companies, but not working as project for these companies. They were more involved as I said, as experts on having some masterclass more than a project. So the name that I gave you were mostly projects. But in terms of interaction, like teaching, it's a lot more actually. The list can be double or triple of what I already told you, because I don't name the guys that are just teaching us, helping us for the teaching. And, like we are doing today webinars, we've got guys from Japan, Germany, everywhere coming to teach us and from everywhere in the world.
Okay, cool. So Mekla Subramaniam is asking, if we do the integrated masters, is that we have a job, or can we possibly work in France as well? Maybe intern, maybe.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the beauty of this course, is that when you go out of Strate, everything is possible. What I mean by that is that you're not going to be restricted in one field. Because you come out of Strate, you will go to work in this industry or this industry or this industry. Everything is possible. The beauty of Strate is to nurture students. It means we are going to help each student to achieve their own potential. Some students will be, at the end, some designers with different profiles. Okay? It means out of Strate, we call them Stratos, the alumni of Strate. Stratos can be very poetic designers, that are in the thinking process, something like that. Other designers can be in the very geek, technology-oriented designers. Also will be some very industry-based designer when they are calculating the price and trying to make things cheap and cheap. So there will be so many different kind of profiles going out of Strate that everything is possible. It just depends on what you guys, as a student, want to do. If you want to be the head of design for Apple, and you tell me this at the beginning of your first year, then I'm going to help you to build a plan along the 5 years to achieve this goal at the end of the 5 years. And if it changes in the between, we'll adapt the plan. And we'll make sure that all your internship in between are going to be always aiming to what you want. You want to work in Apple, okay. Then if you want to work in Apple, it's in the US. So it means that the internship that you do 1 year before need not to be in US, because you will not get your visa if you do so. So you need to work in this company in China, that is the one that is helping Apple. So that and before this company, in order to enter this company, you need to go in this company, because this is the way it goes. So from that, you climb your stairs to Apple. And this is how we help students to reach their goals, that is having a job. Where they want. Okay. This is why we need to be very careful with what we want to. So sorry, my girls just interrupted me. I'm sorry a bit. You saw me making moves like that. It was to say no.
Perfectly.
So I just lost my way. Sorry. What I was saying. Yes. So we are trying to help the student to build their own career plan, and we will adapt the projects that are going to follow along the courses to match these plans. At the end of the courses, at the end of 5 years, we will not provide you a job. We will not. It's not something that I'm going to sign a paper saying at the end of the Strat, we will give you a job. We will not. Strat is not providing jobs. But all along these 5 years, we will be teaching you how to get your own internship by yourself, how to use the network, how to use LinkedIn, how to use Facebook, Instagram, how to maybe using all these tools to get yourself your internship. And when you will be used to this, getting a job will be so easy that you will not even think about it. It will happen like that, because you will be used to networking, going to the good parties, going to a good place, doing the good stuff on Instagram, doing the good. We will teach you all that. So it means we will not give you a job. We will train you how to get a job. It means, there is this saying that says, if somebody is starving, do not give him a fish. Teach him how to fish. Okay? And this is exactly what we are doing. We are not going to give you a job. We are going to teach you how to get yours. Because the reason is very simple. If I was giving you a job, like let's say at the end of 5 years, I'm giving you a job in Google. Some of you don't want to go to Google. And after 1 month in Google, you will be bored. This is not what you want, so you will quit. And then what next? How do you get another job? Are you going to come back to me and say, oh, I want another job? No, it's not going to happen. Here in Strat, you will get the first job that you want. And if it's not pleasing you, you will be able to find your own second job and your own third job. And of course, it's not like we are not going to help you of this. We are going to be on your back on every minute of this. We are going to check, have you sent your mail to these guys? Have you checked this? Show me your portfolio. Is it good? Is it not good? So we are going to support you in your research, but we're not going to provide any job. We are going to teach you how to get jobs super well and high-end jobs. But we are not going to provide you jobs because you don't need us to provide jobs. When you go through the 5 years, you find your job yourself and you find the job that you want. You want to be working with a craftsman in clay in Gujarat, you will find a job. You want to be working for Google, if you're good and if you work toward this, you will find a job. If you want to work for Accenture in Delhi, you will find it. We will help you to find a way to find this job if this is your dream. And if you work hard, it will depend on you. You will get it. If you don't work hard, there's no surprise.
Yeah, that I'm sure. That I'm pretty sure. Right. So there's another question here, and this has come on my mobile phone. If you say do the 3 years here and the 2 years in France, what would be the medium of instruction in France? Would that be in French or would that be in
Yes, it
English?
will. So it depends. We've got both. Most of the courses will be in French. So it means, next year, I'm proposing to my first year student to go to Paris to go for the second year in France. Most of them don't speak French, so it will be difficult for them. But some students, learn French before, so it will take them 1 month to adapt. Okay, so if you want to go there to France in first or second year, you need to know French before, at least the basics. But from the second year, I'm teaching French to all my students. It's compulsory. So I mean, if you want to go to France in third year, it's possible. Even if the courses are in French, you will struggle at the beginning, of course. Of course, you will struggle during 1 month, but you will be able to follow the courses after 1 month, 2 maybe. But it's possible, and you will be able to stay there for 3 years, 4 years if you want. Okay, so from the second year, we are teaching French. And in the master in France, you've got 6 masters, and 2 of them right now are in English, fully in English. One is half in English, one in French, and the 2 others are only in French. So if you go to masters in France, depending on the department that you choose, you will have either French or English. But normally, master will be after 4 years. You will have 2 years of compulsory French teaching in Strate. Whatever you choose, it should be good. It should be okay. It should be okay, and you will be able to learn there. You can't go to France without speaking a little bit of French. French are lazy on languages. You can hear to my accent. The way of teaching language is very bad in France. So in Paris, even in Paris, which is the capital, if you don't speak a little bit of French, you will starve because they will not understand you. It's better if you learn a little bit of French before going to Paris. But if you go to Singapore, then it's okay. Everybody speaks English there.
Yeah. That's interesting. Right. Cool. So I do not see any more questions coming in. So the last request for questions, if anyone has them.
I have some addition that I can do for myself. So I would say that admission are open. We are doing the admission online, and we are admitting not only in year 1. It means, of course, we are admitting in year 1 after 12th, but we are also admitting after 1 year of design studies or art studies. It means if you got, if you know some friends that are doing some studies anywhere and are not happy with what's happening to them in the first year, they can come to us, and they can also check for admission in year 2, as we are really open to that, and to take some guys and helping them if they are struggling with the actual courses that they are in, if it's not fitting to them, if they are not happy, if it's too far from their parents, I don't know what. But we are also admitting students in year 2. and in year 3 if they are super good.
Okay, that's interesting. So there's a very interesting approach. So like lateral entry.
Lateral entries, yes. Lateral entry will be on a portfolio, basically mostly on portfolio and skills, in order to see if the students that are going to join us are going to match with what we are already achieving with the students, not to have too much gap. Of course, if there is a gap, we will bridge it. We will give some bridge courses and all this kind of stuff. But we are trying to look into this. So if you feel that Strat is interesting for you guys, and if you know some people that are struggling and want to try Strat, know that we are open to lateral admissions. And we've got some processes for that, and there is a way of doing this properly. So you're welcome. We'll be happy to welcome you in the family.
Okay, interesting. One more question here. Now that there's a shutdown, is there any way we could have an e-visit to your campus?
Yes, absolutely. So we are doing virtual open days every Saturday online. So you will find us on Strats_India on Instagram or Facebook. Mostly the open days will be on Facebook. Okay, it's at 2 o'clock on Saturdays. So this Saturday we have one. So it's a question answer stuff. You're welcome. Parents are welcome, of course. We also are going to share some presentation, where we are going to show the campus and things like that. The new campus, we are having a campus that was supposed to be finished for July, but with the lockdown, we might be a little bit late. So it might be, we might start in the former campus that we had last year and shift 1 month or 2 months after in the new campus that is going to be in Yelahanka, a super nice building that is really engineered to be a design school. It's not a building where we put a design school in. It's a building that has been designed to be a design school. So that's super, super cool. I'm loving this. It's actually a design tool. Like for pedagogy, for me to teach you better, it's even better because this building will be just efficient. Super cool. And yes, and we also are doing, on Instagram, you can follow us, Strat_India. So Strat is STRATE_India. I don't need to spell this one, I believe. You can follow us. We've got some webinars. We've got some tutorials, to how to draw, we've got also Manda. Manda is our head of pedagogy. Who is doing some projects with students. In the morning, he's giving some briefs, explaining how to tackle the brief, how to draw this, and how to think about it. And in the afternoon, students need to submit what they've done. Manda will select some of the projects and will review online. And so it's very interesting. Students are super happy of following this. So I invite you to follow this. We are also going to share some of the conferences that are, the big guys are doing for us, like the BMW guy. I'm going to record it and I'm going to show it. This guy is also going after to do some digital sketching tutorials for us, sketching sessions for us. So we don't know yet if it's going to be open for the public or just for our students. But this is the kind of stuff that you will find on our Instagram. Not that we are doing it on Instagram, but you will find some posts telling you the hours and the links for attending these webinars, tutorials, or sessions. Okay? So if you are interested, we are there. And if you don't find them in any way, you can go to our website, strat.in, and then you can contact us on the phone number there. I will be happy also if you're super interested and want some questions. I will be happy to answer you personally. Also, I'm very eager to speak with new talents and to discover new talents. So if you feel that you are one of them, I will be super happy to discuss with you about design, the future, what is next, what is coming, how your generation of designer can really change the world, how technology is involved into this, and how this can really be a big challenge on a super cool life. Because believe me, being a designer is a super cool life. You're always, thinking, you're always out of your comfort zone. You always have to go forward. It's super interesting. It's one of the best jobs ever. Believe me, it's been now 25 years that I'm doing this and 5 years of study, so 30 years. No, not 30 years. I'm not so old. Total will be years. Well, total will be 25 years study, so 20 years of experience and 5 years of studies. And it's been the best part of my life, actually. It's super cool. I've done some projects that if you join and if we have occasion to discuss personally, I will share them with you, but they are just incredible. Incredible. It's super cool. Not that I do it, but I was part of the project of the team that did it. And it's just amazing to see all these talents working on one project. It's just amazing. It's a super good job.
All right, all right. And finally, the last thing, you had a pretty interesting career, meaning going from product design into academics, into decathlon, and back into academics. This versatility, the ability to be so diverse in your portfolio. Um, why do designers have that ability to work
Oh.
across fields?
So I would say not all the designers have that. I've been trained well. Okay, I've been trained well. I remember one of my teacher in France when I was a student uh, taught us to be irrespectful. Okay, he taught me how to be irrespectful in the good way, of course, not completely irrespectful, but irrespectful of what was supposed to be thought, what was supposed to be done, and what was supposed to be achieved, and to question the questions, and to always ask why, and how, and why do you think that? Why do you ask me to do this way when it could be done another way? And because of that, because of this guy, I'm now able to understand what is coming and and this is why I'm where I am now. And this is why I've done this super huge project for Decathlon. That I've done some of the most interesting concept cars with car manufacturers in the late 90s and beginning of the 2000 to up to 2005. So this is something that is super interesting because I've been taught not to follow rules, or at least to question the rules. And this is how this is happening. And this is what we are trying to mentor and to nurture in Strat, is how to be irrespectful in a good way. How to be, the guy that is changing things, that is not following all the rules, but most of them, of course, because we don't want to create chaos also, but just to see, to evaluate which one can be changed and which one are hard. And if they are not hard, how can you bend them? How much can you bend them without disrupting everything or without, and this is what, this is why I managed to challenge myself doing education, then doing a little bit of car design, a lot of car design, then after education, and then after consumer goods and sport goods, which I didn't know anything before. When I arrived in Decathlon, I didn't know how to draw shoes, how to draw a bike in carbon fiber, how to draw swimming things and swimsuits and surfboards and snowboard and snow boots. I didn't know that. And I learned because I like to be, and this is what designers should be, out of their comfort zone and curious. And this is how it happens. And this is what we nurture in Strat. This is what I call the Strat spirit. And this is why, and this is why it's difficult for me to recruit good teachers, because this is what I'm looking at in my teachers, to be teachers that allow students to be kinky, kind of kinky, not kinky, but how do we? It's not a good word because kinky is a sexual stuff, so not this way kinky, but how can I say that? A little bit,
A little. We get it. We get it. So
yes,
a little offbeat. Let's put it that way.
Yes, and this is how you make a good designer, when you're not following all the rules, but you understand them.
Yes, 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 absolutely. And in that zone of the Strat spirit, we will end this webinar.
If you give me just 2 minutes more.
Sure, sure.
As you say that my career, I had a good career. My career is not shaming. I'm not so old. And I have to say that also in order to keep myself updated, because I said, I don't want teachers to be teachers and things like that. I'm also having, running on my side with some of my former students from DSK, some projects. So we are working on different projects. We're having fun doing some real stuff on the side. So we are modifying cars. We are making some project for car manufacturers in India. We are doing some bicycles. We are doing some logos. So we are doing some real work on the side also. And this is what I'm inviting my teacher to do, is to continue to be up to date, and this is what I'm trying to do. So soon you will see some work from from me online, and you will say like, "Wow, I've never seen that in India." And I hope you will enjoy this. It's going to come normally in September. I don't know with the lockdown, but it's going to be something that is going to be labeled Strate Design Team, and it's going to be done by teachers and former students from Manda and I from DSK, and super interesting projects. So we are not only teaching right now, we are also doing projects, and this is what is keeping us also energized and very passionate about design and up to date.
All right, all right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot, Thomas, and we are so happy to have had you here. We'll be ending this webinar, and all the best to Strat, and all the best to the students who consider Strat, who are considering.
Thank you very much, Gian. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the students that attended this speech. I hope I was not too much boring, and I hope that you guys will attend some of our online stuff, because you believe me, there are some very good and fun stuff to take from it, and also to I know that it's boring to be locked down. So if you want to keep being engaged with design, why not trying our stuff? It's fun.
All right, all right. Okay, thanks a lot, Thomas. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care and stay safe.
Take care. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.